Good morning, students. Welcome to the session of physics. In this session, we are going to learn about work, energy and power. So, yesterday I asked my children to hold a toolbox while I was fixing my ceiling fan. And after that, we spent some time in reading, and while I am reading, I asked my children to pass a magazine to me. And in these two cases, one is holding a heavy toolbox for a while and passing a magazine to me, and I asked them in which situation, in which case they did work more. And of course, they answered me in case of holding the heavy toolbox. If I ask you the same question, in these two cases, in which case the work done is more? If your answer might be the same as my children, then you are right in some perception. According to day-to-day meaning of work, you are right. As we consider the work as a physical or a mental action or activity which makes us tired, that is what we consider as work. But it has different meaning according to science. If you ask the same question to a physicist, then he will say like the work done in passing a book is more compared to holding a heavy object. In fact, the work done in that first case, in carrying or holding a heavy toolbox, is zero. So let us consider, let us now understand what is the meaning of work according to science. So in order to say the work is done on an object, the two conditions must be satisfied. Number one, let this is an object. The first condition is a force must act on the object, and second condition is the object must be displaced to some other place. So this is a displacement, S let it be, and this is what a force acting on an object. So if these two conditions are satisfied in any situation, we can say that there is a work. And we define that work as, see, W is equals to the product of force and the displacement in the object due to that force. So that can be written as product of force and displacement. So that is a work according to science. So now if you write the units for this work, what are the units? See here, force, the force units are newtons and the displacements units are meter. And the Newton meter is a unit, standard unit for work, and it is also called as, 1 Newton meter is also called as joule. That is indicated with capital J. Right. So coming to the next point, see, in all ways the force and displacements are not in same direction. For example, look at this slide. In this case, a boy is pulling a cart, and the force acting on that cart is along the rod, and the displacement of the object, that cart, is on the surface. Now there is an angle. See here, there is an angle between force and displacement. Now how can we define a work for this case? Look at the board. See, this is an object, and the force is acting in this direction, and the object is moving in this direction, the displacement direction and force direction, and there is an angle between them. Let it be theta. Now coming to the point, now how can we define the work in this case? See here, in any plane, in a plane we have two independent directions, one is x, another one is y. Of course, this is minus x and this is minus y. Now, any direction in a plane, for example, this is a vector, this is the direction, and it is lying in a first quadrant of this coordinate system. And this is a combination of, see here, a x component and y component. See, simple, this is somewhat in rightward direction and somewhat in a upward direction. That means any vector in a plane can be written in the combination of x and y. For example, let it be another vector in a second quadrant. So, this is what somewhat in upward direction and some portion is in leftward direction. So, this can be written as a negative x component and positive y component. Similarly, any vector in a plane can be divided into two components, that is a combination of two independent directions, right? One is along x direction, horizontal direction, another one is along y direction, whether it is positive x or positive y or positive negative x, negative y. Now, coming to the resolution of vector. For example, this is a force. Now, how can it be divided into two components? For example, it is making some angle with the x direction. Now, see here, this is the x component of vector. If you draw a straight line onto the x direction from the end of the vector x axis, then that indicates the x component. Let that x component is fx. Right. Now, what is the y component? This is the y component. If you draw a line, perpendicular line to the y axis, then this component is a y component of vector. That means what? This is this one, Fy. Now, according to trigonometric functions, for example, here, if I consider cos theta here, so cos theta can be written as adjacent side, that is x component, by hypotenuse. What is hypotenuse? Actual vector f. So, from here we can write it as fx is equals to f cos theta, isn't it? So, similarly, if you take a sine function for this triangle, then you will get a opposite side divided by hypotenuse, that is nothing but fy by f. So, from here the y component, vertical component, can be written as f sine theta. So, that means any vector in a plane can be divided into two components. One is f cos theta, or any vector f it is, let it be. So, f cos theta, another part is f sine theta. So, this is what called resolution of a vector. Dividing a vector into two independent perpendicular components is called resolution of a vector, and you will be learning in mathematics also, right. So, now if this vector, if I resolve this force into two components, then this component will be what? F cos theta, isn't it? And this vertical component will be what? F sine theta, right. So, now see here, in these two components, which component of force is responsible for the displacement of this object? Of course, f cos theta. The f cos theta is the whole and sole responsible for the motion of the object, and f sine theta is perpendicular to the displacement direction. That means it is not at all involved in the displacement in this case. So, now if you want to write the definition or mathematical expression for work, as we know, the product of force and displacement along the force direction. Here, what is the responsible for that force? Displacement f cos theta and into s. So, that can be written as fs cos theta. So, this is the common general expression for the work in all cases, right. So, now coming to the next topic, that is what? Here, the based on this angle between force and displacement, the work is of three types. One is positive work, look at this slide. So based on the angle between force and displacement, the work is of three types. One is positive work, another one negative work, and zero work. So let us see here. What is positive work? See, look at the board. See, if theta is lying between 0 and 90 degrees, the angle between force and displacement is in between 0 and 90 degrees. In this interval, the cos theta value is positive. Cos theta value is positive. So that means what? The work will be positive, right? This is what called positive work. Or simply, in other words, a force or component of a force, you can take a force or component of a force, is in the direction of displacement. Force and component of a force are lying in the same direction, then we can say that work done by that force is positive work, right? What are the examples for positive works? For example, the fruits are falling from tree. So the object is moving in downward direction. At the same time, the gravitational force is acting in the same direction as they are falling. That means both are in same direction. Angle between them is 0. Both are in same direction, force and displacement. So work done by the gravitational force in this case is positive. Or any other work. For example, if I am pulling an object, that means what? I am applying force in this direction, object is also moving in the direction. So now both are in same direction, force are a component of force. And in this case also, see object, and now I am pulling this object in this direction, object is moving in this direction. See here, one component F cos theta will be in the direction of displacement. So in this case also, what is the work done by this force? Positive, right? Now coming to the another type of work. See, positive work, we have so many examples in all the activities in our day-to-day life. For example, you are playing, you are kicking a ball, so you are applying force in the same direction as it moves. So that means what? Both in this case, both are in same direction. That means work is positive. And all the activities in our day-to-day life, almost all are having positive work. For example, look at this slide. So in this case also, see, one component F cos theta is in the direction of displacement, isn't it? Right. Coming to the next, another work, that is negative work. So what is negative work? If the angle lies between 90 and 180 degrees, then in this interval the cos values are, cos theta is negative. So cos theta is negative, then according to work Fs cos theta, so this is negative, so work will be negative. Or in other words, see, force or component of a force is in opposite to the displacement direction, then this work done by the force is a negative force. For example, I hope look at this slide. So this is a common example. See, one boy is trying to control the dog which is moving. So the displacement of the dog in a leftward direction, see the slide, and the force is acting by the man along the string. So now if you divide that force, now look at this, see the situation. See here, this is the displacement direction, dog is moving in this direction, and the person is applying force in this direction, isn't it? That means what is the angle between them? It is in between 90 and 180, more than 90 and less than 180, right? Or if you divide this force into two components, this is what rightward and upward. So this is what rightward and this is what upward, one component, another component. See here, one component of force is opposite to the what? Displacement direction. So in this case, the work done by that force is what? Negative. So in general, we have so many examples for the negative work. For example, if you are projecting a ball in vertical direction. See here, ball is moving in upward direction, whereas the gravitational force is acting in downward direction. So both are in opposite direction, displacement and force. What is the work done by the gravitational force in this case? Negative. And one more example. See here, you are participating in a hand wrestling, arm wrestling. See, in that case, let us assume you are losing. Then see here, see, while you are losing, you apply force in this direction, but your hand moves in opposite direction. So what is the work done by you in this case? Negative. And in case of tug of war also, in tug of war also, while we are losing, our team is losing. See here. So in this direction we are trying to pull that rope, but our displacement will be in forward direction as we are losing. So in that cases also, the work done by us, losing team, is negative. So now coming to the next case. What is that? Next work, zero work. So as per the definition, W is equal to, as per mathematical expression, Fs cos theta, right? So now the force is acting, but the object is not moving. That means the displacement of the object is 0. Then what happens to the work? It should also be 0. In second case, R, of course displacement is there, but the angle theta is equals to 90 degrees. The force and displacement angle is 90 degrees. Then cos 90 is equals to what? 0. Cos 90 is 0. So the value becomes, the work will become what? 0 in this case also. That means if the displacement of the object is 0 or the angle between force and displacement is 90 degrees, then the work is considered as a 0 work. So how, where these situations can be seen? See, for example, there is a huge wall and you are trying to push that wall. For example, this is a table and this is a very huge, and I am trying to push this table, right? So what is the displacement of the table? 0. I am applying force. Even though I am applying force, the object is not moving. So work is 0. Now for example, look at this slide. In this case, first case, the boy is trying to push a huge wall which is not moving. So what is the work done by that boy? 0. And in second case, see that the person who is trying to move that object, the gravitational force is in downward direction and the object is moving in rightward direction. Angle between them is 90 degrees. So what is the work done by the gravitational force? That is also 0. Now coming to the next topic, energy. See here, next topic, energy. See, we carry out so many activities in our day-to-day life. To do those activities, we need the capacity to do that we are acquiring from food. So the capacity of doing a work is generally called as energy. The capacity to do work is called energy. And we have so many forms of energies. And of course, energy and work are almost closely related with each other, interrelated. That's why the unit for energy is also joule. Right, now coming to the forms of energies. We have so many forms of energies in nature, like light energy, heat energy, sound energy, electrical energy. In all these energies are resulting from those two means. One is due to the motion of the particles and next is due to the position where the particles are aligned. For example, take a sound wave. Of course, we know that sound is produced from a vibrating body, and the particles while the sound is propagating also vibrates. So because of that motion only sound produces. And for example, in case of electrical energy, so in case of electrical energy itself is the movement of charge. Current is nothing but movement of charge. So electrical energy in the wire is resulting from what? Movement of charge, due to the movement of charge. And next, some case electric energy also stored inside the batteries. For example, if you take cells or batteries, electrical energy also stores inside the battery. That is because of what? Storing means on two plates, one is having positive charges and negative charges are separated in some distance. That creates some potential difference in between them, that stores the potential energy inside the battery. So because of this alignment of charges, position of charges only, the battery stores the electrical energy. So that means all the objects, macroscopic objects, microscopic object, acquires energy or the capacity to do work, they acquire by two means only. One is either by the motion or by their position. So based on this, the energies are divided into two types. All the energies are grouped into two types. Number one, potential energy. Another one, kinetic energy. Right? So let us see what is the kinetic and potential energies. We will start with kinetic energy. Right? So what is kinetic energy? Let us understand it with an activity. Right, see here, I have two objects. See this activity. See, I have two objects. There is a car and one more, a small object. Now see here, the car is not making any changes in the position of this tub, small cup. Now if I set this car in motion, see here, if I set this car in motion, so what happens to the tub or cup? The car displaces. See here, the car displaces the object from one place to another place. That means what? This car did some work on that object. Force and displacement, both are involved. So there is a work. And that work, that capacity to do work for that car is coming from where? Because of its motion. So the energy possessed by any object due to its motion is called kinetic energy. So what is that kinetic energy? See, when there is an object of mass m, if it is moving with some velocity v, then the kinetic energy of this object is expressed as of mv square. So this is what kinetic energy. And in other case of m, I am just dividing and multiplying with mass, then m into m square into v square, this is what mv whole square by m, and you know that mass into velocity is nothing but what? Momentum. So that is equals to of p square by m. So this is another form of kinetic energy. Right? Now, what is the source of kinetic energy? From where these kinetic energy the objects are getting? Let us see. See here, one object is there. So this is an object. See, this is an object and it has some velocity initially u. It is moving with some velocity initially, that is u, and one constant force is acting on this object, and at some time t, after some time t, the object displaced to some other place. The displacement of the object is s, and the velocity becomes v. So velocity has been changed from u to v, that means it has some acceleration due to this force. And what is the work done by this force? Let us find out. W is equals to F into S, you know that. And what is F? According to Newton's second law, F is equals to ma, right? So now m And coming to the equations of motion, third equation of motion, that is what, v square minus u square is equals to 2as. We will use this equation here, and a is equals to, from this a can be written as v square minus u square by 2s, and I am substituting this value in this equation, that is v square minus u square by 2s into s. S's get cancelled and it will become half mv square minus half mu square, right. So what is half mv square? Kinetic energy at final state, that is what, final kinetic energy, minus what is half mu square, mass into velocity square by 2, kinetic energy, initial kinetic energy. So see here, the work done by any force can change the kinetic energy of the object. For example, if you consider the object is not moving initially, then u becomes 0. So that means kinetic energy becomes 0, initial kinetic energy. So then work is equals to what? This will become 0, half mv square. This is what kinetic energy getting by the body due to this applied force, right. So the kinetic energy coming to the body is due to the work done by external source on it, right. Now coming to the another form of energy, that is what, potential energy, right. Look at this video. See, in this, one object is placed on a nail, then there is no displacement of the object, and after dropping it from certain height, what happened to the nail? It was pushed into the clay. So that means what? See here, in this video, if an object is dropped from certain height, it has capacity to do work on the nail, isn't it? So that means an object acquiring energy due to its position, due to its height from where it is falling. And another case, see this activity. See here, I have a spring. See, this is a natural configuration. That means what? A natural state of spring. Now one object is placed on it and there is no effect, of, see this object, see here, and there is no effect of spring on this ball, isn't it? Now see here, if I stretch this spring, see what happened. If I change the configuration of spring, it is able to push this ball in upward direction. That means it is able to do work on this ball when the spring has changed its configuration, isn't it? So that is what, some objects are acquiring energy due to their position or due to their change in configuration, and this type of energy acquired by the object due to the position or due to the configuration is called potential energy, right. So now, from where this potential energy coming to the objects? Now look at here, the potential energy coming to the objects from, see, before that I would like to mention two forces in nature. One is conservative forces and non-conservative forces. So what is conservative force? See here, one force is there and it is working on an object to take that object from A to B in three different paths. Let it be, these are the three different paths in which the force is working on this object. Let that work is W1, W2 and W3, right. So now if this condition satisfied, that is W1 is equal to W2 is equal to W3, that means what, the work done by this force is not depending on the path taken by the body. And this type of forces are called conservative in nature and conservative forces. Like all gravitational force, all field forces, gravitational force, electrostatic force, magnetostatic force, and restoring forces generated inside the spring, rubbers, all are come under conservative forces. Now coming to the non-conservative force, exactly opposite. So what is non-conservative force? Same, take a force and let it be work done on an object to take that object from A to B in 3 different paths, same W1, W2, W3. See here, if this condition is satisfied this force, by this force, that is W1 is not equal to W2 is not equal to W3. That means in this case, the work done by this particular force is depending on what path taken. If this is the case, then that force is called as non-conservative force. And non-conservative forces are simple, all resistive forces like friction, air resistance are considered as non-conservative forces. See, if you do some work against the non-conservative force, for example, there is a friction in between my hand and I am rubbing my hand, in the sense what I am working against to the friction. See, in case of work done against the non-conservative forces, that work will not be stored inside the system. That will be dissipated in different forms like heat, sound, or if you rub 2 stones, you will get light energy. That energy will not be stored, that will be dissipated. But whereas, if you coming to the conservative forces, if any work done against the conservative forces, that will be stored inside the object only. And that stored form of energy is called potential energy. Let us find out the gravitational potential energy. Let this is an object of mass m, and of course you know one gravitational force will act on it, and now I am trying to take this object to certain height h against the gravitational force. See here, what is the conservative force involved here? Mg. And now what is the work done by that gravitational force? That is conservative force. That is what? mgh, force into displacement. And force into displacement both are in opposite direction, so that means what? Minus. The work done by the conservative force is minus. Now work done against the conservative force, that is what? Minus Wc. That is what? Minus of minus mgh, that is equals to what? Plus mgh. And this work done against the conservative force due to the external sources is stored inside the body as potential energy. So this is the gravitational potential energy of that object at that height. Right? So look at this. See, work done by the gravitational force minus mgh, that is conservative force, and work done against the conservative force minus of minus, that is plus mgh. And this work done against the conservative force stores inside the body only, and that stored form of energy is called potential energy. So this is what? The source of potential energy. Right. Now coming to the another topic, that is what? Conservation of energy. So conservation of energy means, conservation is, see here, conservation means it's a technical term for constant. So according to law of conservation of energy, the total energy in the universe is constant. We cannot create energy or destroy energy, but we can convert energy from one form to another form. This is what called conservation of energy. Look at the slide. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, but can be converted from one form to another form. See here. See how. Look here. Look at the board. See, there is an object. I am dropping this object from certain height. See here. And it has some certain height from the surface. That means what? It has some potential energy at this place. That is P is equals to mgh. It has maximum potential energy at that place. And now if I drop that, then what happens? As it is moving towards downwards, then what happens to the height? Height decreases. That means potential energy decreases. Now, where as it is coming towards the downward, the velocity of the object increases, that kinetic energy increases. That means, see here, the potential energy decreasing and the kinetic energy increasing. That means that potential energy is converting into kinetic energy. And now coming to the right before touching the ground, it has zero potential energy as there is no height of the object from the surface, and it has maximum velocity. That means kinetic energy will be maximum. So in this case, potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. Likewise, in nature also, energy can be converted from one form to another form. Look at this. Look at the slide. In hydroelectric generating projects, see, water stores at certain height in a dam that has potential energy, and when that water is released, then what happens? It gets kinetic energy. That potential energy of water at that height is converted into kinetic energy, and due to that kinetic energy, it is able to rotate the turbine which is connected to generator, and that generator generates the electricity from that mechanical energy, right? So in this case, the potential energy first converted into kinetic energy, and kinetic energy is converted into electrical energy, and that electrical energy we can use in our home, at our home, for grinders or to run the fans. That means electrical energy can be converted into mechanical energy. So for example, in some cases energy converted into another form naturally. For example, sunlight in photo. Look at this slide. See, sunlight in photosynthesis. See, sunlight is converted into carbohydrate. That carbohydrate we consume, which is coming from the plants, to do mechanical work. This is natural conversion of light energy into mechanical energy. And in other case, you use some equipment to convert energy from one form to another form. Like for example, you might have seen solar plates in your school. So in case, look at the slide. The solar plates converts solar energy, light energy, into electrical energy in daytime, and that electrical energy is stored in the batteries, and that can be used to blow lights, to glow the lights at night time. That means first solar light energy is converted into electrical energy, and that electrical energy is converted into light energy. Like this, the energy in the universe is always constant. Energy can be just converted from one form to another form. This law is called law of conservation of energy. Right. Next, coming to the next topic, that is what? Power. See, look at this slide. In this slide, the A and B, two persons, and these two persons are allotted the same work, and A did it in 1 hour and B did it in 2 hours. Now if I ask you, who has more capacity to do that work? Obviously that is A, as he did it in least time. So that is what called power. So look at here, the power is, see this, the power is nothing but the rate of work done, in how much minimum time it has taken to do a work, that indicated by power. So power P is equals to work done by time taken, or power can be written as energy transferred per time between two objects, or simple energy consumed by an object per time. So this is what called power. So now coming to the units, so this is work per time, so work unit joule and time unit second, and this also can be written as watt, right? This is also called as watt. So what is the power unit? That is watt. See, for example, if I have a tube light, that means 40 watt. What is this 40 watt means? It consumes electrical energy, it consumes 40 joule per second. Every second it consumes 40 joules of electrical energy. That is what the power meaning, right. In some cases, in cases of motors, machines, engines, the power is also measured in horsepowers. So 1 horsepower, this is also unit for power. So 1 horsepower is equals to 746 watt, right. So that is in general case for motors. For example, we employ motors in our home to pump the water. So if you go to the market to buy a motor, then you'll ask for how much HP you want. So that is what power unit. 1 HP is equal to 746 watts. Now coming to the another slide, see this. You might have seen this at your home. This is this is a current bill. And if you keenly observe, in the red circle you have units, that is 92 units, and right above that we have kWh. What is that kWh? See here. What is that kWh? So kWh, the full form of kWh is kilowatt hour. Kilowatt hour. That means this is a standard commercial billing unit to measure electrical energy consumption. For example, what is this kilowatt hour? Let us find out in joules. See, kilo means what? 1000. Into watt means what? Joule per second. And what is hour? 3600 seconds, isn't it? So the second get cancelled. See, focus end. That is equals to, this will become 36 into 10 to the power 5 joule, isn't it? So 1 kilowatt hour is nothing but 36 into 10 to the power joules of energy. Or simple, in other simple words, if 1000 watt bulb we are using at our home, of course we don't use that, especially in functions we use this 1000 watt bulbs. If this 1000 watt bulb runs for 1 hour, that kilowatt bulb runs for 1 hour, then the energy consumed by this bulb is called as 1 kilowatt hour, in general words, right. Let us try to find out what is the power consumption at our home. See here, in simple words, we'll find out the energy consumption at our school during night study hour. So generally we know that power P is equals to, see, power P is equals to energy consumed by time, isn't it? So if I have a n number of power consumers, for example n number of electric bulbs, right. So now what is the total energy consumption? That is N, P and T, where T is the time duration, P is the power of that consumer and N is the number of power consumers, right. See, let us consider the night study is for 3 hours, from 7 to 10, let it be. And in a class we have a 2 number of tube lights and each of 40 watts. Let it be like this. Only 2 tube lights are there. Number of tube lights 2 and each is having a 40 wattage and it is running for 3 hours. Now what is the power consumption? Electrical energy consumption during that night study is 2 into power. What is that? 40 joule per second into the time period is 3 hours. 3 hour is nothing but what? 3600 seconds. Second get cancelled. So what is the, this comes out as 864,000 are simple 8.64 into 10 to the power 5 are simple. This can be written as 9 into 10 to the power 5 joules. So if you compare this value with 1 kilowatt hour, this will come out as 1/4 of kilowatt hour, or that is 1/4 of a unit. That means during that 3 hours time in one class, if two tube lights are present, then we consume 1/4 unit, 1/4 of unit, right? Now let us do some more interesting. If you forget to switch the lights off after night study hour, let it be at your home or at your office, at your school, whatever, in dormitories, if you forget to switch the lights off, then what happens? For example, if you forget, then 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. the lights will be in on state. So that means what? Around 9 hours, isn't it? So 9 hours they will be in on state. Now what is the wastage of electrical energy during that period? See, E is equals to NPT. Now N is equal to 2 tube lights, let it be, and P 40 joules per second, and time 9 hours, that is 9 into 3600 seconds. Say second get cancelled, then this will come out as 25 point something into 10 to the power 5, 25.9 something, or we can write it as 26 into 10 to the power 5 joules. So if you write it in kilowatt hours, that is in standard commercial units, then it will be equal to 3/4 of kilowatt hour. See here, during night study hour, the useful power consumption, useful energy consumption is 1/4 unit, and if you forget to switch the lights off, the wastage of electricity will be, electrical energy will be 3/4. That means if you take that ratio, it is comes as 1:3. That means what? One day if you forget to switch the lights off, that wastage of electricity which can be useful for 3 night study hours. So not only in study hours, at your home, offices, please put the lights off. When put not only lights, put the all electronic appliances in off state whenever they are not in use. So thank you, and try to get some project here. So this is your project work. So look at this slide. So this is your project work. A freely falling body stops on reaching the ground. What happens to its kinetic energy? This is related to converting the energy from one form to another form. Next, a bus and car have same kinetic energy. Which of two is moving fast? Right. Next, calculate the electrical energy consumption at your home in 1 month duration. So this is your project work, and see a simple, you might have seen slingshots. For example, slingshot like this, for example. In this case, see, energy is conserved means, if I am pulling this object, see here, if I am pulling this rubber, that means I am doing some work on this rubber, isn't it? And that work is stored inside the rubber band as potential energy, and on release, when I release this, that potential energy converted into kinetic energy, and the stone will be moving in forward direction. This is also applicable in case of bow and arrows. See, if you stretch the string of a bow, then that work done by us is stored inside the bow as potential energy, and on release that potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. Like this, all the energies are conserved in the nature, but we can convert from one form to another form. All right, thank you.